To add signals to the Sicare, first we need to connect the Sicare to the PC using the serial cable provided with the Sicare. We first connect the cable to the Sicare. Now we connect the computer and turn on the Sicare power. Back on the computer, we right-click the first device, which is television. This brings up a pop-up menu. In that menu, we need to click Link Device. That brings up the Link Device dialog box. This is where you will enter the infrared commands from your remotes into the Sicare. It's a little confusing at first, but if you follow along, it will become clearer. Click the New Infrared Device button in the Link Device dialog box to name the device you are scanning in. In our case, we will call it Tele1. Notice that the name Tele1 appears in the list to the left, and next to it is a box. Click that box to select Tele1 and then click on the first item in the large middle column, On. This will be the first signal we scan in to turn the television on and off. Now we need to click the Scan Signal button. This will bring up another dialog box called Scan Infrared Signal. Type in the name of the control you are scanning in our case, Power. Now click the Scan button and pick up the television remote and point it towards the top of the Sicare. Press and hold the power button on the television remote until you notice the scan and test buttons turn on. That means the signal was received. You can test the signal by clicking Test while pointing the Sicare at the television and see if it worked. If nothing happens, or if the television turns on and then immediately turns off, repeat the previous steps until you get the television to turn on and stay on. Once the signal works properly, you can hit OK to save the signal and close to close the dialog box. Notice the red icon changed to green. This means there is a signal present for this command. You can now move on to the next command. Since there is no channel up or channel down on the list, you will have to make up your own. I have selected 10 up to substitute for channel up. You can change the name when you click the Scan button. Now just repeat the scanning steps while holding down channel up on the remote. Once you've gone through all these steps for each command, you can click OK to close the Link Device dialog box. For entering signals for X10, you only have to right-click the light device and select Link Device again, then select the 01.ICP option from the list at the left and click OK. Now that we have entered all of the signals for the various devices, we need to link the commands to the signals we just entered. Under Television, right-click Power and select Configure from the pop-up menu. This will bring up the Link Actions dialog box. This is where we will link the commands to the signals we just entered earlier. Click the radio button next to the infrared signal. This brings up two pull-down menus. The first pull-down is for selecting the name that the signal was placed under. This is where things will get a little confusing. This is not the name that you typed in, but the name of the signal that the software gave it. To determine which name, click the Show Infrared Device checkbox at the bottom of the dialog box. That will bring up a list of the names and their corresponding signals. Use this to link the commands to the names of the signals. In our case, Power corresponds to On, according to the list. The second pull-down menu is the device you want to connect the signals to. Leave this pull-down alone since it already points to the device you're setting up. Once the signals are linked, click Add to save and then OK to close the dialog box. Repeat these steps for each command under the television device. For X10 devices like Light, right-click on it and select Link Device again. Make sure the 01.ICP is highlighted and the box is checked at the list at the left and click OK. Right-click on the first command, Turn On, and select Configure from the pop-up menu. In the Link Actions dialog box, select the radio button next to RF Signal and then click Add. This will bring up the Add RF Signal dialog box. Click the tab labeled X10.RF to bring up the list of available X10 house codes. Notice that each house code has an on and an off setting. Since we are setting up Turn On, we need to select the house code for X10 Radio A1 On. Once that is done, set the count under the list to 13. This will repeat the RF signal for 13 milliseconds. Once that is selected, click OK to save the signal and close the dialog box. Then click OK to save and close the Link Actions dialog box. This must be done for every X10 command needed. Now that we have linked the signals and the commands, we can now transfer the entire project over to the Sicare. We will cover that in the next video. Thanks for watching.